Hey guys, welcome to You the Boss podcast, episode 37. I'm your host, Pam, and today we're going to be talking about the voice. You're probably wondering, what voice? The voice in your head, the one that tells you about 60,000 thoughts a day. Did I say 60,000? Yeah, 60,000. The average person has anywhere between 12 to 60,000 thoughts a day. A day. That's like a lot. So let's start this episode with a little bit of an interactive exercise. If you're driving right now, you can do this in your mind. It's really not difficult. If you're sitting at a desk right now working, just take a second. And I want you to think, when you hear a voice in your head, whose is it? Is it yours? Before you give me an automatic yes, I want to challenge you and say, is it really? So you're telling me that you would tell yourself that you should feel guilty that you didn't go to the gym today? Or that you should have had a salad for lunch? Or that you aren't doing what you're supposed to be doing, or that you're not living out your purpose? I don't think that you would speak to yourself in that tone, the way that you're thinking about your body right now, or the way that when you looked in the mirror this morning, you depicted all of your flaws, your acne scars, your large pores, your blackheads. I need a facial. I need to go do my dermaplaning. Oh, my eyebrows look a mess. I don't think that voice, if it's yours, that you would be speaking to yourself in that way. Maybe you're a man listening to this episode and you're saying, well, I don't look at my body any kind of way in the mirror, or I just eat what I want when I want. Okay. So you're sure that that voice in your head is yours? The same voice that told you that maybe you weren't enough? The voice that you've told yourself that, you know what, I'm not supposed to be feeling. I need to man up. I come to you with this episode a little bit heavy, a little bit direct with this interactive exercise because I recently was having a conversation with a few different people at different points. And I've just been paying attention to how they speak to themselves, how they speak of themselves. I've been paying close attention to how they express themselves. So many of us are walking through life, walking through our different day-to-day, and we're telling ourselves that we should work out, that we should go to the gym, that I should make that phone call, I should do this, I should do that. And I'm not invalidating the fact that there are certain things that need to get done. Realize that I didn't say you should get done. But also, is it really that important that you should do it? Why should you do it? Whose voice is that? Whose voice is telling you that you should be doing something? Where did you get this mindset from? This episode is stemming from me having heard something of, whose voice is that? And it got me thinking, what if we replaced some of that should with I will, or I want to, or I'm going to the gym? And I know that sounds a little woo-woo. I'm not going to lie to you. It sounds easier said than done, right? We all have 1,000 things going on, whether you're a mom or just anyone going through life. Like, we all have multiple things happening. This is just kind of the state of where we are. But if you start changing your verbiage and listening and paying attention to what you're saying, you'll be able to start to have original thoughts. You're saying, you know what, I want to go to the gym. That's your decision. It's your idea. Not I should, not I shouldn't be doing this or I shouldn't be eating that. Once you make the choice to say, you know what, I want to go to the gym. You know what, I want to go for a walk. I want to get my body moving. Then the idea is yours. Now you're owning it. Now you're not shoulding yourself. Yes, should-ing yourself. I just made up a word. When you're saying that I should, it doesn't actually mean much. Like, yeah, you should go to sleep earlier so that you're not tired the next day. But you could also say, I'm going to bed early today because I don't want to be tired tomorrow. Or tomorrow I have a long day. That means that you're owning that. You're owning deciding that you're not going to snooze your alarm 100 times tomorrow. And you're not going to feel that afternoon dip and have to get more coffee and spend money at Starbucks because, again, you made the conscious decision to not say should. The next thing is, which I think is the deeper premise of this episode, is taking that inner voice back from whoever is currently taking its place. So oftentimes, one of the things that, you hear parents say to their teenagers, you shouldn't worry about what other people think of you. And so often, as a teenager, you're like, I don't care what anybody has to say about me. And meanwhile, we're like super concerned. Teenagers like super concerned with how people see you, what people think. Even if you're following the beat to your own drum, you're still concerned with people saying things like you're weird or that you're different or things like that. And it's a valid experience. As human beings, we want to be validated by others. But here's the question. Is that voice validating you? Are you validating yourself? Are you showing up with your voice? Every single day, the voice that you hear the most is your own. And if someone else is in its place, it's harder for that voice to bring you hope, to bring you peace, for you to trust that voice. That voice could be, whatever you want to call it, your intuition, the universe, or literally your voice. And the reason for some of these things is, number one, you need to be able to question the thoughts in your mind. You want to be sure that they're original or that you actually agreed with them and that you're not just doing things or abiding by things because someone else put this voice in your head. Number two, that voice is beautiful. It's yours. You were given a voice by whatever higher being that you believe in so that you could sing your song. Your song in this world is better seen as the colors that factor in to the world. That the world is a canvas and your voice is the colors that you decide to paint that canvas. So if you're not using your voice, you're using someone else's color palette. And while their color palette is great for them, you have a color palette. You should be using it. And number three, when you decide to question that voice and make sure that it's yours, you create inner harmony. Instead of going to like a guru who's gonna maybe enlighten you in certain ways, or seeking validation from someone on the internet or from people around you, you create that inner harmony by quieting the other voices and holding on to your voice. I want you to think of your voice as it being in a line of, metaphorically, it's a chair. And you want to sit on the chair that's your voice. You have to bring it to the front. The difference between someone who uses their voice and someone who doesn't is that the person who's using their voice, the person who is honoring that voice within them, they're living at a certain peak. There is something unshakable about someone who is using their voice, that they're not quieting their voice, they're not whispering, they're not using excuses like, well, you don't understand. My job is like this. We can't speak up that way. That's not the way that it is in that culture. That's not the way that it is in that community. And I'm not talking about using your voice in a yelling way or in an aggressive way. While those things can be chosen rightly in their place, people who are owning their voice, they are running through different trenches because everyone goes through different things. Everyone goes through something. But they're also running through those things and allowing other people to use their voices too. And the people who aren't using their voices, they're just swinging from vine to vine and they're not living fulfilled. They always feel like something's missing. They go through their life that way. They sometimes, unfortunately, go to the grave not honoring their voice. And as a boss, you as a person who's listening to this right now, I know that that's not you. I know that you have a voice, and like a lot of others, myself included in the past, you just need some encouragement and a place to put your voice. So now that I've gotten you to question the voice in your head and whether or not it belongs to you, whether or not you are actively being true to yourself, I want to give you a few things to guide you on the path to reclaim your voice and that shift. Number one, tomorrow, start even today, if you're listening to this in the morning, I want you to take a second and ask yourself, who's answering here? Me or someone else's voice? If somebody asks you something, an opinion, or just something that is to cause a reaction out of you, I want you to just ask, who's answering here? Is this me or someone else's programming? This is going to help take care of the notion that people expect things from you. They expect you a certain way. They expect you to say certain things or to react a certain way. So I want to make sure that you are taking a second to say, whose voice is this? Is this my voice or someone else's? Number two, when you go to think of something that you should be doing, I want you to ask yourself every time, who said? Says who? Why should I be doing that? Do I want to do that? Do I need to do that? Because sometimes there are things that we need to do. Like, you should always, there I go, using the word should. You need to take care of your health. We are in one of the most important times in history of having so much knowledge, of having so much connection, of having so much information. And we know now things that we didn't know 30 years ago. And so we need to take care of our bodies. We need to take care of our minds. We need to take care of our spirits. And I want you to use your voice in doing so. And last but not least, number 3, trust yourself. Have the confidence in knowing that what you need to take your life, to take your career, to take your relationships to the next level is already inside of you. It's not in another book. It's not in another podcast. It's not in another seminar. What you need to take everything to the next level is inside of you. And it's in silencing those other voices and the other influences so that you can hear your own. And it's going to guide you into different rooms and places that you otherwise wouldn't have been able to be to accomplish what it is that you want to accomplish. I want to leave you guys with this. Your voice is the first thing that someone else hears when you speak. But your voice is also the main voice that you hear your entire life. Let it be the one that matters the most. Thank you for listening. Come back again next week for another episode of You the Boss podcast.